So here we are, we're going to start with our Entrelac triangle number 1. And in Entrelac we go across in rows, so we're just going to start with triangle number 1. And to do that, I've used a sample with my magic number of 5, so I have 5 stitches, and I have them separated by markers just because that's visually easier for me. Then I know exactly where I am, and if I'm having a conversation or I get interrupted, I don't lose my way. So I start with a knit 1, and a knit 2, and then here's the fun part. Without turning and with the front of our work facing us, we purl back. See my video on purling with the front of your work facing you. We purl back 1, and then when we have 1 stitch left, we slip that. And what we're doing when we do that is create an edge so that later when we're doing a triangle later on the other side, we can pick it up easily with a nice edge that's very visually easy to find. Then we do that again. We knit 1, knit 2, and then we knit the third one. And I'm just knitting through the back loop because I like that on the first one. It's easier. And now we have 3 on, and we purl back without turning our work. We purl back to the last stitch, and then we slip that. Whoops. Then we knit 2, 3, 4, and now we're ready to purl back till the last stitch. You guessed it, we're going to slip it. And see that pretty edge? It just makes the nice finished edge for picking up later. Now we knit back again. And then we knit our last stitch in this grouping, and we've got our 5 stitches done in our first little triangle. Now if I wanted to make this bottom triangle bigger, I could purl back and then knit back just to give it more depth. I'm not going to do that for the purposes of this demonstration because you can choose to do that on your own, and you know how. When we remove our marker, if you're using one, then we just start doing the same exact thing. We knit 2 on our new triangle, and then we purl back and slip the last stitch, the first one that we knitted. Then we knit back, three, and then we purl. And then we slip the last one. Now we knit again. We're just doing exactly what we had done before. 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to purl back 3 and then slip 1. Purl, 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 slip. Now we're getting a nice little triangle there with a nice edge. Knit back, 2, 3, 4, and here we are at our last one. 5. There we go. Now we have 2 little matching triangles. And in this wool, they're not getting very wonky, but in some yarns, they tend to get really curly and they look very odd. Thankfully, this doesn't, but they're supposed to look odd, so that's okay. Now we're on our last set of 5, and we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to knit 2. Oops. And then we're going to purl 1 and slip 1. Then we're going to knit 3 and then we're going to purl back 2 and slip the last one. Then we're going to knit 4, and you can see that triangle developing. Then we're going to purl back 2, 3, slip the last one, and now we're going to knit 2, 3, 4, 5. And you are magically finished with your 3 5-stitch triangles. How's that? It's not that hard. Join me for my next video as we go over the next step in Entrelac, and that will be those triangles which we finished, and we're going to go on to the left side triangle number 2.